How's everybody doing? It's Craig here again. Back down in the barn. Today's December the... I'm not even sure what day it is. I'm on vacation this week. It is Wednesday, the first Wednesday after Christmas, so that'd be 6, 7, 8. Today's the 29th, December the 29th, 2021. In my last little live stream that I done, I showed a little generator, and I'm going to start working on that today, getting a diagnosis on it. The chief complaint is the guy let his grandson use it, and it come back, would not start after the grandson used it. He just wants me to go over it, give it a once over and see if it's even worth fixing. Says it probably doesn't have more than about 15 hours of run time on it. So we'll get the camera off the mount here, and we'll give you a little shot of it. I've done a little bit of preliminary work on it, but I'll go back through everything. I'm not 100% sure I know what the issue is, but I've started going down the right avenue, let's say. So we'll look at it. Let me get you off here. It's going to be shaky just a little bit here. There it is. It's a little WEN. I'm knocking stuff down. Little WEN 4050 watt max. Like I said, it does have spark. As you can see, I've got the breather off of it. I did try to get it started. Could not get it started. So I run a compression test on it. I'll go back and we'll do the compression test on video, so I can show you what all I've found so far. And that's as far as I've went on it. Like I said, I do know it's got spark, and I have tried to start it, could not get it to fire, and I have tested the compression, but we are going to go back and redo the compression. So I'll mount you back up. I'm going to stop this for a second and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I removed the stuff off the top, took the spark plug back out of it, got my compression gauge back in it. So we're going to give it a few pulls and I'll show you what I found. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's stopped climbing. I'm going to try to get you down here where you can see this. Don't know if you'll be able to. £60, just a little over 60. And it took 8 to 10 pulls to get there. So, I think that's our issue. I think it's low compression. Now, for what reason? Not really sure. It could be several things. It could just be a valve, where the valve lash is closed up on it, or even opened up for that matter. Could be a valve sticking a little bit. Could be a bent push rod, or it could just be totally wore out. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm not going to do this on video, but I'm going to remove the gas tank so that I have access to everything. So get the gas tank off of it, we'll come back. Okay, we're back. I took the liberty to get it down. I got one tap left in the valve cover. Don't really know what I'm going to find in here, but I suspect it's either going to be, like a stuck valve, a bent push rod, or the valve lash is backed off and opened up, would be my guess. It could just be totally wore out, but I don't think it is. But anyway, we'll get this off and we'll pull it over and we'll watch the valves actuate and see what we find. clean inside. Doesn't look like it's got much run time on it. Get my flashlight here. Well, I don't see nothing right offhand. So let's give it a pull over, see what we got. The exhaust valve, I don't think it's too tight. The intake doesn't feel like it's too tight either. There goes the exhaust opening up. Intake's opening up and closing. There's the compression release on the exhaust opening up just a little bit. Now, still could be the valve lash on the exhaust could be too tight because there's very little play on the exhaust after the compression release lobe on the cam opens it up to release some of the compression. So what I'm going to do, I don't know what the specs are, I'll have to look the specs up. So I'll do that, and when I find out what the specs are, we'll come back and check them. Okay, we're back. So after a little bit of research here, what I could find is the valve adjustment on this, and this is an offshore engine. This isn't a Honda. It's probably a Chonda. But anyway, what I could find is that the intake should be 6 thousandths, the exhaust should be 8 thousandths. Both of them are plus or minus 2 thousandths. So on the intake, anywhere from 4 to 8, we're going to set up somewhere around the 6, maybe just a little bit loose. And then on the exhaust, well, like I said, that was 8 thousandths. So anywhere from 6 to 10 on the exhaust, from what I could find. So I've got a 7 and a 9. So we're going to do, get my flashlight here so I can see. Crank this over, watch the valves actuate. There goes the exhaust opening up. There comes the intake. The intake's pretty much at the bottom of the base circle on the cam. So that means that the exhaust is at its fullest relaxed or released position. So I've got a 9 thousandths. So let's see what we got here. I can tell you right now, I cannot even get my 9 thousandths filler gauge in there. It's way too tight. Let's see if the 7 will go in there. Yeah, the 7 goes, but it's really tight. I mean, it's got a lot of drag to it. So I'll go ahead, crank this on over. Now the exhaust is fully opened, which means that the intake is on the bottom of the base circle on the cam. So now we'll check and see what it is. It's got a little drag on it too. So, and I just put my filler gauges away. So I'll get my 2 gauges out again. So I'm going to open both of them up just a little bit. And of course, I probably don't have the right socket. Oh yeah, I do too. Going to have to get a wrench because it's jam nutted, so I'll be right back. Okay, I've got them set. So we'll kind of zoom in there a little bit. Get the gasket there before I tear it up. So on the intake, was 8 to 12. And I'm shooting for 9 on the intake. There you go. It's got a good little drag to it, but it isn't too awful bad. And on the exhaust side was, I believe that was 6,000 plus or minus 2. Anyway, I've got it at 7. There you go. Got a good little drag on it also. So, with that being set, I'm going to zoom you back out here. Oops, wrong direction. And we're going to pull this thing over a little bit, 3 or 4 or 5 times, and we're going to see if it increased the compression on it at all. There's 8 poles. Still about the same 60 pounds. 60 pounds with the compression release really should be enough to get it started. I just want to try something here. Just take some old WD-40. Spray some down in there. We'll turn it over a few times. We'll see if that actually helps seal them rings up or not. I just kicked the camera, sorry about that. So now we're going to do a compression test after spraying a little WD-40 in it. See if that increases the compression or not. What that'll do is tell us if the rings are wore out. Poles, and again we pretty much topped out at 60 pounds, so the rings are not bad in this. And also if they're completely wore out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of, this is just some 2-cycle mixed gasoline. This is the contraption that I use to, on my chainsaws and 2-cycle equipment to try to get them started. Put a little bit of that gas down in there and see if we can even get it to fire. I'm not going to worry about tightening that plug down. I just want to see if I can make it pop. It is on, so let's see if we can even make it pop. There she goes. Okay. That's more than I could make it do before I started filming the video. So what I'm going to do now is put the valve cover back on it. The gas that's in it smells like it's old varnished gas, so I'll dump it out and I'll drain the bowl, and we'll put some fresh gas in it, and we'll see if we can't make her run, see if she charges. So I'll be back. Okay, back again. I've got my little gas tank hooked up over here. I got some gas in it. I got my kilowatt hooked up. Got my trouble light hooked up just to make sure it's making power. The valves were a little tight, and like I said, I tried to squirt a little gas down the carb, could not get it to fire. But the gas that I took out of the bowl on this thing, I wish I had smell-o-vision, because it was definitely shellacked up. I mean, it was old gas. Had kind of like that dark amber varnish tint to it. So I think it was a couple different issues, and I still may have to take this carburetor apart. I didn't do anything with it. I just want to see if it'll run, see how good it runs, and we'll go from there. So we'll go ahead and we'll get it fired up here, see if she actually runs on its own rather than just squirting a little gas in the cylinder. Switch is on, choke is on, so we'll give her a pull here and see what she does. It'll run on half choke, so I'm going to have to take that set out. It's probably about half plugged up. But it is making power, as you can see. I'm sure you probably can't see that. 119.4 on the voltage. .9, 63 on the hertz. So now it's ran just a little bit. I'm going to try to turn the choke off, see if it'll run on its own. Now that carburetor is going to have to come off and come apart. So anyway, it does run. Actually sounds rather good. It's not surging or anything on a half choke, and it is making decent power. Like I said, 119, 120 on the voltage, and 62.9 and 63 on the hertz, I believe is what it was. I'll take this carburetor off, and we'll come back and do a video of me taking the bowl off just to see how bad it is. And we'll be back. Okay. Here we are again. I've already taken the liberty of draining the gas out of it. I've loosened this bottom one, but I've not taken it apart. So we're going to see all this together. Still got just a little gas in it. Bottom lap doesn't look too bad. Okay guys, here, let me get a flashlight so you can see. See all that gel in there? That is ethanol gasoline, where it's attracted water and then it's gelled up. This is what happens. It's actually got a lot of rust in there too. That's what the majority of that is just rust. Not gel, but rust. So that's what happens when you use ethanol gasoline, which is just about the only thing you can get anymore at a regular gas station, and you leave your equipment set for a period of time. That ethanol is doing what it's supposed to do. Ethanol is nothing more than alcohol, and when you leave your gas that's got either 10% ethanol, 15% ethanol, or whatever it may be, that ethanol will settle out of the gasoline over a period of time. The alcohol itself attracts moisture. Then the moisture will fall out and settle, and then you'll have the rust issue that you see in this bowl here. That can clean up. That's not too awful bad. And the rest of it here isn't too awful bad either. Got a little corrosion up in there, not much. The needle looks good. And up inside the carburetor there, up in the bowl area, looks rather good. Just a little bit of corrosion, not much. So now we'll see if we can't get that jet out of there. This is the main jet up in here, and this is where our problem's going to lie. Our feed holes, let me get my flashlight. Don't know if you can see that. There's a feed hole right there. It's hard to, there you can see a little bit of light through it. But you got to make sure them feed holes are open. If not, then your jet will never get no gasoline to be metered. Okay, I got it broke loose. There's the jet and the emulsion tube. And right here's where our problem is going to lie. I know you're not going to be able to tell. See that little light? There's a little piece of debris in there. It's probably not going to show up very good, but I can see it down in there. It's got that about half blocked off. And we're going to do the same thing here with the emulsion tube. The emulsion tube actually looks pretty decent. There, you can see that right here. Got good light coming through that. The only thing you got to make sure of is there's little holes here on the side of this tube. You got to take and make sure they're open. You can either use compressed air, or what I like to do, let me find it here real fast. I just got some old 14 gauge wire. I just take one strand of that, make sure it's straight. Can you see how that's clear through there? Now I just go down and I hit every hole just to make sure that they're open. if these holes aren't open, then the gas won't get atomized or emulsified the way that it should, and it'll cause a running issue. But I just go down through and I hit every hole, go clear through. And this one here even has, down here in this bottom, on this bottom land, has one here in the side that goes clear through. And then I'll actually take and I don't know if you can see that. Where are we at? Focus up. Right on the very end of that wire sticking out, there's a little bit of crud. Even though we was able to look through there. So what I'll do, now that I've got them holes all poked open, I'll take some carb cleaner and spray through, and then I'll take compressed air and blow it out. And I'll do the same here with this jet. This is the main jet right here. For those of you who don't know, this is the main jet. This is actually what makes your engine run at high speed. So I'm not going to show spraying this down with the carb clean. I'll get it all cleaned up back together, and I'll get it to where we're ready to start again, and we'll be back and do a final test. Okay, well, we're not going to be able to get this thing back together today. This bowl gasket has started to grow. And that's probably just where it's absorbed some of the gas, but I cannot get it back down into the groove, so I'm going to have to, sorry about that, I'm going to have to order a new bowl gasket. So it might be a few days now, but I'll go ahead and get this back together and get it all put together. So all I have to do is just put the bowl on it when I'm ready. So we'll come back in a couple days once I get the part.